Could you just scoot over, Tad, so you're not on
Yes.
the
There
line
we go.
out there? Just a couple stills.
First time here, right? At Animal?
No, this is my third time.
We're so happy to have you back.
Thank you.
Talk about what you've been doing and how you've been getting ready, because you've been running a lot.
I have. Yeah, it took a long time after the Olympics to get healthy. Really got to take my time since I didn't get to do that last year after surgery. So finally got pain-free, which I'm really excited about, but definitely ended up starting training a little bit later. But super excited to be pain-free and like using the season to progress forward. So looking to work on my long jump and hurdles here and hope for some progress.
How are your preparations different for competing in two events?
It's really the same because for me that's like a normal practice. I usually train 3 events a day, so 2 is nothing too crazy. Yeah, honestly it makes it easier because then I didn't have to train whatever events I'm doing this weekend. I didn't have to train so hard at home, so nothing too different about doing multiple.
What's your favorite event?
My favorite event's high jump. That's my baby. I started that when I was the youngest, and it's like the most frustrating event when it's going wrong, but when it's going right there's like nothing like it.
And do you imagine yourself potentially next year jumping into an off event like the 4 hurdles or something, since there's no worlds or something like that?
Oh Lord.
I mean, you just did it at Grand Slam, so
yeah,
or something else.
I definitely like to dabble, and I hope to do more of that. I think the healthier I am and stronger form I am in my heptathlon events, the more my coaches will allow me to do that. So I hope so, and I think next year, you know, with World Ultimate Championships, there's no heptathlon in it, which is a little bit rude. But since there's not, maybe I'll try to qualify in something else. Maybe take a year to work on 400 hurdles, maybe the 800. Definitely gonna high jump. I love high jump. I have to do that, so it'll be fun.
I wonder, like you said, World Ultimate Championships, there's no multis, and everything else between Grand Slam and all these other things, right? Athlos, there's no multis. You do get to dabble in like individual events, but I wonder if you would like to see something specifically for multis. Of course, you have multis, but
would
like,
love that.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we get a little bit left out sometimes, maybe more than other groups, but I think I've seen a few of the Diamond Leagues that have had Olympic champions in the multi-events. They've done like triathlons, the Paris Diamond League with Kevin Mayer. So I'd love to see more of that, and I would happily jump in. And I think it'd be great for all combined eventers because I don't know how I ended up being able to run the 400 hurdles, but I was blessed with that ability. So not all combined eventers are like able to jump into other things or want to jump into the 400 hurdles. So it'd be great for us to have opportunities too.
Can you talk about the impact of the Grand Slam and Athlos and the influx of the financial resources?
Yeah.
That's the good thing.
Yeah, it's been hugely impactful, and that's where I think, like, even though it is a little upsetting that the combined events get left out, I think any investment into the sport is great for track and field, so I'm really excited to see it, and that's why I try to take part in as many of them as I can and be as competitive as I can in the open events, because I don't want to get left out of any of the big meetings. But it's super exciting to see that people are starting to pour money into the sport. Athletes are kind of starting to get what they deserve, and I just hope as that's successful, fingers crossed, that it'll start to trickle over maybe into other events.
Is there a talk around athletes, and it's a small community, everyone knows everyone. What's the chatter, so to speak?
I mean, the chatter is people want lanes at Grand Slam, people want to go run, and I think people are kind of buzzing. I think at first nobody knew like what it was going to look like, so they're kind of like, what is this? And now people are kind of starting to see the format and deciding if they want to partake or not, and hopefully more big names will partake in all of the meets. I think the more we get the bigger names racing consistently and at as many different leagues as they can, just the better it is for the sport overall.
And for yourself, what did it cost to get here? What did it cost to get here?
Cost to get here?
Yeah,
you mean like
mentally.
to Atlanta?
No,
mentally. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. I was like, oh, we're pocket watching. But I think mentally, oh my gosh, my career's been a roller coaster. So it's cost me a lot, honestly. I think I've had 2 surgeries: the 2021 surgery, and then last year the knee surgery, and rushed back for the Olympics. I definitely wasn't like healthy yet. I was, using things to manage pain every single track meet. We were on different meds. I was doing injections in my knee all year, and it was really just terrible. So to finally come out of that has been really nice, but I've definitely had to fight my mental demons along the way that I think any athlete gets with injuries. So It's definitely cost a lot, but I have a really great group of people around me. I've been really, really well supported by Adidas in particular. They've like embraced my entire family. They were there for me through my entire injury. And my family, friends, coaches, all of those people just make it worth it and a lot easier.
You talked about being left out a lot. Would you consider creating something of yours alongside KJT or Nafi? Just, I mean, you guys have this camaraderie already when you compete at the Olympics
Yeah.
or Worlds.
You know, I haven't thought too much on the business side. I think right now my job is to show up and compete the best that I can and bring as much personality and eyes to the sport as I can while I'm competing. But I would love to see like a combined events thing that we could all partake in that's, you know, maybe not a full heptathlon and maybe at one of the Diamond Leagues or maybe at one of the bigger invitational meets. I think that would be really cool and could help bring eyes to the heptathlon because I think it's a really great story, like the full 7 events and watching the points unfold, which I think people are starting to see, and then now they compete in 2 different events at Grand Slam over 2 days and add up the points. I'm like, that comes from somewhere. So it would be nice to kind of get people to tune into that story as well.
And do you have any sort of pre-race ritual or good luck charm?
Ooh, I'm gonna call it a routine and not a ritual because I don't like to say that I'm superstitious, but I think my track journal, which I've posted about before, is definitely my biggest one. The night before I always write down kind of what cues I'm looking for out of myself tomorrow and what type of athlete I want to be and compete like. And that's kind of how I measure my success for the meet is like, okay, if I want to run through the long jump board, I can go tomorrow and say like, did I do that? And that's how I'll measure my success rather than, you know, living and dying on marks week in and week out.
If there's an event that you really want to improve upon this year, which one is it?
Ooh, gee. I would say I think I'm ready for a javelin PR. That one's been, I owe my coach that. I really do. So I definitely want to see that. But the biggest thing right now for me is just working back to my best in all the events. Last year was really hard, and coming off of the injury, like there's little mental hiccups in every single event, or there's little compensation things I'm working through, and so just as close as I can get to my PR in each event will be like the goal of this year, so to speak, and to javelin people.
How are you working through those mental hurdles?
I think just reps, and now that I know that my knee is okay and I'm pain-free, like that's helped so much. So now I really just have to work on like telling myself that I'm strong enough to do things. And I think last year in the fall from the Olympics, I kind of let that get to my confidence a little bit, where I was like, okay, I showed up at the big stage and I didn't do what I wanted. But now I'm kind of it's starting to click in me where I'm like, I'm proud of how I competed, and me getting 5th at the Olympics doesn't mean that I'm like a bad athlete. And so just because I got hurt, like I still am the person that did all those crazy marks before, like that's still in there. So I think just reminding myself of that has been really helpful.